Hey, welcome back. Where we at? Lesson 2 in this series on operation. If your trust documents aren't precise, they don't protect you, they expose you. And people on the other side, they aren't trying to understand what you meant. They're trying to find what you got wrong. Stay with me, because what I'm about to show you is the difference between a trust that holds and one that falls apart the moment it gets tested. What's going on? And welcome back to Wealth Locked In, where we build structure, not stories. If you've been building a trust or thinking about one, there's an area most people completely overlook, not because it's complicated, because it looks simple. Documents, just paper. People assume you grab a template, fill in a few blanks, and you're protected. That assumption is exactly how most people get in trouble. Here's what you need to understand from the jump. A trust is not a template system. It is a private, structured agreement, a contract between parties. If your documents don't reflect that structure with precision, you've already handed the other side an opening before the challenge even begins. This video is about closing that opening for good. At some point, your trust is going to need documents. That's just reality. And here's where most people go wrong. They search online, they find templates, legal software, downloadable forms that look official, and they think this is close enough. But here's the truth. Those templates were not written for your trust. They were written for corporation, LLC, partnerships, sole proprietorships, different structures, different rules, different legal consequences entirely. When you take those documents and plug your trust into them, what you've done is import someone else's system into yours. And that creates problems you won't see immediately, especially around tax treatment. Now you have a trust operating like something it was never designed to be, and you're carrying tax burdens and legal vulnerabilities that were completely avoidable. Every document that comes into your trust must be reshaped to fit your structure, not the other way around. And that is not optional. That is foundational. And here's something that separates the prepared from the exposed. Opposing attorneys are not impressed by your paperwork. They are trained to break it. They are looking for inconsistencies, contradictions, and gaps. Anything they can use to challenge the validity of what you've built. If something in your documents is unclear, they will define it for you. And when they define it, it will not be in your favor. Precision is protection. Every word matters. I said that in the previous video. Every structure matters. Every alignment with legal principles matters. Now let's talk about certification, because this is where a lot of confusion shows up in real situations. There are moments when your trust documents need to be presented to a bank, to a government agency, to a third party in a transaction. And in those moments, the question becomes, who verifies these documents? Most people default to a notary. That's what they were taught. But a notary is not part of your trust. They don't manage your records. They don't track your documents flow. They don't know your structure. So how can they certify something they're not responsible for? They can't. Notaries are witnesses. Just for the sake of talking about notaries, just in case you didn't know, a notary don't have to read your documents. This is a separate little thing that I'm talking about here. The notary is there to witness your signature, not to read your paperwork. I don't want to ruffle no feathers, but it's true. Look it up. In your state, it'll tell you. You might even be able to just do a general Google search and find out. You'll see. Oftentimes we just get bullied because we need the service and we don't know any better. But notaries are not supposed to be reading your documentation. They're supposed to be witnessing your signature and anybody else's signature that's going to go on that document. I've been a victim of this. That's how I know. Okay, let me get back. I went off for a second. No hating on the notaries. We love our notaries. We need y'all, but people just don't know. So I'm just letting the people know. Certification belongs to the executive secretary. Why? Because the executive secretary is the one who maintains the record, tracks document flow, and knows what is original and what is accurate. That is authority based on responsibility. This means your trust should have its own certification stamp. That stamp carries the trust name and the executive secretary's name. If that role changes hands, the stamp changes, because certification is tied to the role, not the paper. If this is starting to click for you, if you're realizing your structure needs tightening, then subscribe right now. Grab the free What is a Trust ebook linked in the description and get the trust book checklist pinned in the comment, because what I'm laying out in this video is the exact framework we walk through step by step in our school community. So join the waitlist, watch this full video, and let's keep building. Let's get practical, because knowing the principles is one thing, having your house in order is another. There are certain documents your trust must have ready at all times, not buried in a pile, not half completed, ready, organized. inside your trust book. These include the first and last pages of the trust indenture, trustee acceptances and resignations, banking minutes, investment minutes, a certification of trust, and your IRS EIN confirmation letter. You can print it out as soon as you get your number. These are your operating documents. These are what get reviewed when a transaction happens. These are what get questioned when someone decides to push back. They need to be clean, current, and immediately accessible. And here's where people get lazy and it costs them. Documents are not set it and forget it. They must be updated when changes happen. If signatures change, your banking minutes, investment minutes, and certification of trust must be updated. If trustees change, you create new acceptances or resignation, not later, like when it happened, the same day or two, because outdated documents create confusion, and confusion creates vulnerability, and vulnerability is the exact crack that challenges are designed to exploit. Here is where the executive secretary earns their position: document control. It's not just about having the documents, it's about knowing where they are at all times and controlling how they move. Here's the standard. Originals are only sent when signatures are required. Certified copies go to third parties. Every document is tracked through the entire signing process. Why does this matter? Because once documents start moving, especially across multiple parties or locations, you can lose control fast. And once you lose control of your documents, you lose certainty over your structure. Now, as far as storage, storage is pretty straightforward, but it has to be consistent. Core documents live in the trust book. Supporting documents go in a separate organized system, physical or digital. Today's age, I would just say digital. Get you a scanner, hook it up to your computer, your desktop. Shoot, you can even do stuff off your phone now. Whatever you use, but with one non-negotiable rule. Everyone involved in the trust knows exactly where documents are located. Access without confusion is part of control, and control is everything. If you're serious about getting your trust organized, or if you've realized that your documents may need to be structured the right way, here's what you need to do right now. Subscribe to the channel so you never miss the frameworks we build here. Watch this video from the beginning so you have the full picture. Then go download the free What is a Trust ebook linked in the description. It breaks down the foundation you need before anything else. Grab the trust book checklist pinned in the comments right now. It walks you through exactly what documents you need and how to organize them correctly. And join the school community waitlist in the description, because that's where we go step by step, without guessing, without confusion. Just real structure built the right way. It's a community of like-minded individuals. We all coming together. Some of us gonna have a little bit more experience than others, but we're in the community, so we can be each other's crutches. We'll never fall. Your trust is either holding or it isn't. Let's make sure it holds. Now, in the next video, I'm gonna show you something that stops most trust cold. You can have every document in order, perfectly organized, precisely written, and your trust can still fall apart. I know that's not what you want to hear, because the issue isn't always the paper. Sometimes it's the people. What happens when your trust had documents but no leadership? This is what we're covering next. And if you thought this video was eye-opening, that one is going to change how you think about your entire structure and the people you may be considering for your organization. Watch that next. And remember, it's not the paperwork alone that protects you. It's how it's structured, managed, and controlled. Build with intention. Protect your precision. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.